3 out of 5 from Storm Prediction Center for the severe storm threat. It is in place from northern Ohio back to the Mississippi Valley, and there are enough ingredients in place to fuel some potentially severe storms, especially as we go through this afternoon. So having a look at the radar right now, I want to highlight that you have some showers and thunderstorms moving over the southern portions of the Ohio River Valley. You have a new batch of energy that's moving over portions of Minnesota. Now, we're watching the morning hours. What comes through the southern portions of the Ohio River Valley will start to fizzle out in a couple of hours. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have a rough commute. Some of this is producing some decent rain, about a half an inch or so in some cases. Then we get ready for the next round. What we will do is have about an 8-hour window where we will have enough of daytime heating, enough to support some heat that moves in, and then more in the way of the moisture that's getting streamed way up from the Gulf of America. And dew points are going to be way up into the 60s, Michael. Having said that, all the ingredients are coming together, and even though we have a bit of a cap in place, you think once that front comes through, it's the lifting mechanism, especially with the converging winds, that will give us those severe storms, and all modes of severe weather are on the table today.
Yeah, that means tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. And interestingly enough, Craig, when you look at the number of people that could be impacted by this, we're talking about nearly 50 million Americans in some of our nation's largest cities in the Midwest.
Yeah, and a lot of those cities will be dealing with also some very large hailstones. Some of these independent cells will eventually become clusters and lines, which gives us a straight line effect as well. Look at the ingredients in place. Michael, when we talk about dew points up into the 60s this far north, you know you're in business. Plus, we're talking about record heat. All of that will help to fuel some of these storms today. And then you got that front that comes through, completely different air mass. The temperature is going to plummet behind that, but that's also going to be one of the reasons we get the severe weather and the potential for large hailstones.
Yeah, moisture, lift, and instability. Those are the three main ingredients that you need for severe weather, and all of those are on the table, and all of those are magnified as well.
It's true. How about the hail threat? 2 inches in diameter or greater?
It's like egg-sized hail, of course, falling from the sky. So literally, you see what that looks like. And the Storm Prediction Center has actually issued different sorts of outlooks and just saying that, hey, listen, this could be a big threat on top of the areas that were just impacted not too long ago.
Yeah, we've highlighted the areas that were impacted just over the weekend with the tornado. The tornado threat is also there, level 2 out of 5, and it does include some major cities from, say, Kankakee, where you had that major hailstone, 6 inches, that was just last week, right? All the way to Cleveland, Pittsburgh in the mix as well. We've got some wind shear to work with this storm as well, so that does give us a chance for some of these to rotate, especially this afternoon. Here's the timing. Michael, we got a good, say, 8-hour window for things to heat up, and then things get going this afternoon through the evening hours.
Yeah, I'm thinking around 5, 6, 7 p.m. is when things become ignited, and then by 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we are rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before, there were a few things I want to break down. You mentioned the cap that is in place. There's an inversion in the atmosphere that caps the explosive nature of these storms. We want to get into that, and of course, the SPC, they're calling for an enhanced risk for some thunderstorms. In some of the major cities across the Midwest, that does include not just St. Louis, but Chicago, Indianapolis, Indiana, and of course, Cleveland, Ohio. And listen, Detroit, you could be in on this as well. Perhaps not as major as places like Indy, but still, there's that risk. So we talked about the cap or that inversion in place in the atmosphere. And there's going to be a lot of complicated messaging here, so I'm going to keep it real simple for you, because that's how I do things. So I want you to think about a pot on a stove, right? On that pot, you have a lid. This, my friends, is a lid. That's our warm, stable layer of air. If that lid is too hot, you can't touch it, right? And you keep your fingers off of it. But the moment that that lid starts to cool down, right, when you turn down the heat, the temperatures fall some, then you're able to pick up that lid, and then you see that burst of steam, right? Once you open up that lid off of your stove, that's basically what's happening with the environment as well, where once things cool down enough, that's why we're saying this happens into the evening and overnight hours, then you get that rise of air. And Craig, that is going to lead to perhaps some explosive thunderstorms from Chicago over to Indy. And really, things get going this afternoon. I think the morning hours actually today look pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. And you will notice as you step outside, perhaps a little more humidity in the atmosphere before the winds start to shift. Having said that, you talk about that explosion. Man, that's going to allow for some of those storms to tower up high, give us the chance for those hailstones to really build up as well. I think Chicago is one of those areas. It's a Thursday, rather. rather, a Friday Eve, and a lot of people are traveling. We've got spring breaks coming up. Watch the airports. Getting home just from work, or if your kids have after-school practices or activities, come 5 o'clock, things are going to get very interesting here. This stretches all the way across the Ohio River Valley. Look at Indy. Plenty of strong winds as well. And we've got the thunderstorms, and the winds do change direction, by the way, tonight, late tonight.
Absolutely. So you may be dealing with a few showers and thunderstorms this morning. That's just the appetizer. But really, it's the full-on entree that comes on through. And you can see it here, 8, 9, 10 p.m. So right around dinner, if not just before bedtime. These storms could be not just supercellular, but in a big old line. And they come screaming through Indianapolis, Indiana. And, you know, as they do during the late evening and overnight around sunset, they could be damaging.
I'll tell you what, they'll come in with a lot of rain as well. So I know it's going to be dark, but if it was bright, you probably wouldn't be able to see some of these storms if there is rotation because of the amount of rain. But it is a lot of heavy rain, so watch for potential localized flooding as well. There's the southerly flow pumping in the moisture. The heat is ahead of place, and then boom, here comes the front. And look at this evening, 10 o'clock. Pittsburgh, you are rocking and rolling over portions of western PA, and some of it late during the overnight will make it all the way to really the mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching this, of course, every step of the way here for you on Fox Weather.